Women educators are natural givers, pouring into their students, their families, and communities. But what about pouring into you? This is the Educator Sanctuary, where we help you ditch the guilt and unapologetically put yourself at the top of your list. I'm Dr. Leah, educator, mindset coach, and your guide to creating a life where you align with your purpose and reclaim your power. So if you're ready to set boundaries and step fully into the woman you're meant to be, you're definitely in the right place. Let's get into it. Hey, and welcome back to the Educator Sanctuary, where we have big conversations, mindset shifts, personal growth, and all the things that help us live more intentionally. Whether you are a mom, a teacher, a community leader, or a woman holding space for others, I guarantee this show is for you. If you are new here, I am Dr. Leah, and I am your personal guide to personal development and a real life reminder to live your best life now. Lately, I have been noticing something in my own life. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs do not come from working harder or pushing more. Sometimes they come from stopping, resting, and letting life catch up to you. I know that this sounds and might even feel counterintuitive, especially in a world that tells us to hustle and that hustle equals success. But I have realized that giving yourself permission to pause is often the very thing that creates momentum. Today, I want to talk about why rest, not hustle, might be exactly what your breakthrough needs, and how shifting your approach can open doors that you didn't even know were available to you. Now, if you're new, I always give some type of personal context. It may be something that happened in the past week or month or year or in the past years of my life, but it's always real, raw, and transparent context. In this season of my life, I have been carrying a lot. Not only am I a mom, I'm a gymnastics mom. And if there are any gymnastics moms out there and you can relate to me, you know that everything gymnastics just pretty much takes over your life, whether you want it to or not. But then also just caring for the emotional, physical, and mental needs of my daughter so that she can remain calm and stable as she's navigating her school and her sport. But also, I'm running a business. Even though I have a team, I still feel very much solo a lot. And in many cases, I'm just trying to keep everything afloat and be sane. And I realized that a load this big that I'm carrying doesn't always require more work. In fact, it requires more rest. In a past version of myself, when life felt too heavy or complicated, I'd immediately try to push through. I would try to figure out solutions and try to control everything and make sure nothing slipped through the cracks. As a matter of fact, someone I know very well said, "Have you ever watched Scandal?" And in fact, I have not. Don't come for me, but I have not. I do not have time to sit and watch TV because I have so much going on and I've always have. But I have not watched Scandal, and they told me, "You need to sit down and watch it because you remind me of Olivia Pope. Like, you are literally her in real life." So I don't know if that's a compliment or not. Maybe one day I'll get to it, maybe not, but this is who I am. However, this lifestyle tightened my anxiety, drained my energy, and truthfully, it didn't move me forward in the ways I always wanted. I was always so busy trying to make things happen that I couldn't always see the opportunities that were right in front of me. Now that I have shifted and I have grown up, I'm a big girl now. When there is work to do or challenges that I face, I in fact prioritize resting on the situation. Not just sleep, but real intentional pause. A moment to step back from thinking about the problem, a break from trying to solve everything at once, a space to breathe, to let my nervous system settle, and to trust that a solution absolutely will come, and I don't have to be the one to come up with it. And the wild part is giving myself this permission to rest doesn't slow me down. In fact, it actually allowed me to catch up in ways that almost feel effortless. It's almost like the universe can finally move things on my behalf into alignment because I'm no longer in overdrive. So, when I talk about rest, I want you all to understand that when I'm using this word, I'm not using it synonymously with laziness, not sleeping around, laying on the couch and doing nothing. Rest that I'm talking about is calming to your nervous system. And when your nervous system is calm, it's like your whole body and mind get a green light. Rest signals that it's okay, even if the situation isn't perfect, even if deadlines are looming, and even if things feel chaotic. And here is the magic that I've experienced. When you give yourself that space, clarity shows up. Solutions appear. Your intuition kicks in. Honestly, these past few weeks or maybe even couple of months, I have felt like my intuition has been so on point, like super duper clear. Opportunities that you cannot see when you're in constant hustle will literally stand out like it's been there the entire time, and you'll wonder why you never saw it. I have started experiencing this in my life time and time again, stepping back from trying to control every little detail in my business, every little detail in my life, every little detail in my friendships, details in important business. I've noticed these small wins coming in effortlessly. Just recently, there was a situation that was weighing heavy on me, and I just had to say, you know what? I'm just going to let it go. All I can do is control what I can control, and I'm going to let it do what it does. I've had increased business that I wasn't even looking for. I've had increased publicity that I wasn't looking for. I've had increased finances that were just surprising to me. It's like, oh my gosh. These can't all be coincidences. This has to be proof that stepping back and resting doesn't stop progress, that it actually allows momentum to just flow. And it goes beyond these practical wins, right? So, rest helps you show up better in every area of your life. I mean, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, everything you can imagine. When you are rested, you're not reacting from this place of stress or scarcity. You're responding from a place of calm power. So, a place where you can see solutions and make choices that actually serve you. You can approach your challenges with creativity. Oh my gosh, the creativity has been flowing. And when I don't have it, I have not been forcing it, something that I used to do. You can move with clarity instead of the chaos in your mind. And that's when an entire breakthrough opens up for you. Rest is going to allow you to notice the patterns and expectations that you have been carrying. When you're constantly pushing, it is so easy to repeat old cycles and react unconsciously. But when you pause and rest, then your nervous system has a chance to recalibrate so that you can step into your next move more intentionally. And this is how you start to create this space for transformation, not just temporary progress, but lasting change that feels aligned with your life, your goals, and your true self. I was listening to this lady that I would love to bring onto the show, so I won't say too much. But she did touch on how sometimes we can make small progress, but then you step back. It seems like you make more small progress, but then you always find yourself back at the start again. And she said when this happens, it is because you did create a small move of momentum that was able to get you to the next place, but because you did not change your identity of who you are, you will not be able to hold whatever that is. And that is why you end up back at square one. So again, I don't want to talk too much about it because it's something that I know, but she is definitely more of an expert than me. So I would love to have her on the show and talk about this. So while I'm talking about changing that feels aligned with your life and your goals and your true self and doing that through rest, you're probably wondering, If rest is not sleeping and it's not laying around on the couch, what exactly does that look like? So, rest can mean engaging in activities that recharge you. So, if going for a walk in the sun, like I am now in Florida and I really appreciate walks in the sun. I really do go outside and look at the beautiful blue sky and the green trees and just and in awe of the lakes and the waterfalls. Like I feel so good going for a walk. I just focus on my walk and what is outside. For you, if you love creativity, that could be going and taking an art class or doing pottery. Maybe it's dancing, finding joy in spending time with your friends. Rest can look like being present in moments that excite you without letting any worries run in the back of your mind. In my past, again, there were so many times when I could be out with my friends and I would pretend like I'm in the moment, but in the back of my mind, it was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to find the money to do this? Or, oh my gosh, my relationship is in shambles. Oh my God. And I would just be thinking about all my problems with a smile on my face. Rest is being present in those moments that excite you and not letting those worries run in the background. And I cannot say it enough. It looks like stepping back from trying to force a solution and allowing one to appear naturally. It can look like nourishing and caring for yourself in a way that feels good to you. It can look like indulging in a new skill that enhances your work. Now, don't get me wrong. While I am saying let it go and step back, this type of rest is not what I consider giving up. The only thing that you're doing is releasing the anxiety around how and when something needs to happen. I actually saw this in real time with someone recently. They were facing a big problem. And because they made this problem so big in their mind, they tried to solve it themselves. But not only did it not fix their problem, it actually put them in a slightly worse position than they were in before they let their anxiety take over to try to solve the problem. And this is so important to step back because when your nervous system is highly activated around stress, then your ability to respond effectively is absolutely limited. And I know that I cannot be the only person that has been in a situation where you responded with emotion instead of clarity. And when you step back, you're like, man, I didn't think about this. I didn't say this. I didn't. And you replay the situation over and over in your mind because you responded from an emotional state instead of a state of calm and clarity. You only know what you know, and you can only do what you know how to do. You're never doing more than that. None of us are. And because you can only do what you know to do, it means that this actually keeps you looping the same problems without ever really moving forward. And this is why retraining your nervous system is so crucial. Your nervous system, if you have heard me talk about it in episodes before, it is designed to protect you. But without awareness, it really just keeps you stuck. Learning to detach and reprogram your response is how you finally step into calm, intentional action. So now we move into the part of our episode where I always give you homework because what does this intentional action really look like? So I want to challenge you to pause. Identify that area of your life where you've been pushing too hard. So maybe it's work or parenting, relationships, even a personal goal. And give yourself permission to rest. That could be an hour, an afternoon, a full day, several days. Stepping away from trying to control the outcome of whatever it is. And then notice that shift in your energy, the calm that follows, and how solutions start to come to you naturally. This might be something that you actually need to journal because depending on what these problems are, you may need to do this over several days or several weeks. But start to pay attention to what comes up when you allow yourself that space. For me, this has been months, okay, maybe even about a couple of years into the works of me just realizing, you know what, I don't need to solve this. I need to just lay down. I don't need to solve this. I need to go for a walk. I don't need to solve this. I need to go help my daughter with her gymnastics. I don't need to solve this. I'm just going to lesson plan. I don't need to solve this. I'm going to draw. I don't need to solve this. I'm going to dance. Rest is not laziness. Rest is a strategy. Rest is how you prepare for your next breakthrough. If this episode resonated with you at all, and I hope it does, please share with at least 20 people that you know. Honestly, I feel like more women need to hear this message because we're all running around doing, giving, and being for everyone else, and we absolutely need to slow down more for ourselves. If you are an educator and you're used to pouring into the system, whether it's as a teacher leader, or an educational professional, and you're now ready to prioritize yourself, lean into your gifts, and create an income that allows you to build the life you truly deserve, please check out my Beyond the Bell Cash Flow Blueprint. All of the information is linked in the show notes, and even taking a small step is a way of showing up for yourself. I am so grateful for your presence here today. I cannot wait to see you in the next episode. Oh, yes. And speaking of the next episode, to all of my new listeners, I am so in awe of how far we have come. I am so in awe of all of the cities and countries that have been added to the list. Literally every time I go in, I'm just in amazement because you all know in my moment of rest, I have not actively been promoting this podcast other than in this podcast. And so some of our new locations this week are Milan, Paris, Frankfurt, Germany, Nova Russa, Sierra. I don't even know if I said that right because I don't think I've ever heard of that place before. Those are the ones that have been added to the list in the past week, but also Japan, Singapore, Spain, also on the list, Kuwait, France, Venezuela, South Africa, Chile. I'm in awe of what God is doing. I know this is a movement, and I'm just going to say thank you so much. Continue to share. I cannot wait to talk to you in the next episode. See you soon. Thank you for joining me in the Educator Sanctuary, where we create a space for women educators to reclaim their power and prioritize themselves unapologetically. If you've loved what you've heard, please do not forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with other amazing women who need to hear this message. Until next time, remember, you are capable, you are powerful, and you are absolutely worthy. You've got this. Talk soon.